So which pill would you choose? The red pill or the blue pill? In the iconic scene from The Matrix, Morpheus offers Neo a choice between two pills. A red pill that will reveal the truth, or a blue pill that will allow him to remain blissfully ignorant and stay in the Matrix. Obviously, Neo decides to take the red pill because otherwise the movie would just end and it would be pretty boring, right? But in the real world, how would Neo actually decide? The red pill, blue pill conundrum can be seen as a metaphor for the decision-making process we all have to face from time to time. So in today's video, we're going to be analyzing 3 common cognitive biases that Neo is facing in his decision and that you'll likely be facing in whatever decision you're trying to make too. So bringing these to light can help to make a better decision that aligns with your values and ultimately is something good that you can feel about. So the first common bias is confirmation bias, and confirmation bias can lead people to seek out and interpret information in a way that confirms their existing beliefs. So for example, if Neo believes that the Matrix is a lie, he may be more likely to notice and remember evidence that supports the belief and basically to downplay or ignore evidence that contradicts it. So for example, like seeing 500 Agent Smiths running down the road towards him. You might think, oh, this is pretty normal. In general, a person who's offered the red pill may be more likely to accept it if they already have begun to question the reality of the Matrix. However, if they are just generally content with their life in the Matrix, things are pretty good, and they don't want to leave, they may be more likely to refuse the red pill, even if they're a little bit curious about what it might reveal. And this ultimately leads us into the second concept of loss aversion. Loss aversion can make people more reluctant to the red pill, even if they believe that there's some truth to it. And this is because taking the red pill means giving up the safety and the comfort of the Matrix, which is ultimately just an illusion anyway. So maybe in his head, when Neo was trying to decide between the red pill and the blue pill, he was making a quick pro-cons list about his decision, but a better approach would be to use a concept called evaluative equivalency. And this is basically the process of determining whether two things are of equal value, and we can do this by asking 2 questions. What am I going to be losing out by taking the red pill, and what would I be losing out on by taking the blue pill? All right, so let's put ourselves back into Neo's shoes for a second. If we take the blue pill, the Matrix is a simulated reality that is designed to be comfortable and pleasant, and people in the Matrix, they can live out their lives without having to worry about the harsh realities of the world in general, such as poverty, war, and disease. But on the other hand, take the red pill, and the real world is a dangerous and forgiving place. People in the real world, they have to fight for survival, and they constantly are faced with challenges, but they're free at the end of the day, and they're not living in a simulation, which is just an illusion. So ultimately, which one is better for Neo? Is it living in the Matrix or is it living in the real world? For Neo, it would depend on what he values more. Is it comfort and security or freedom and truth? So the last common cognitive bias that Neo would have to consider is something called the sunk cost fallacy. And it's something that can lead people to take the blue pill, even if they're starting to question and have doubts about if the Matrix is actually a reality or not. And this is because they've already invested so much time in the Matrix, right? So if Neo was already living his whole life there, that's all he's known. How can he know anything else? And why would he believe anything else? So in terms of the time and money and energy investment and emotions and all of that, it would be hard for him, and he'd probably be reluctant to admit that he's been wrong his whole life. But let's think about the sunk cost fallacy in a slightly different way. And it's an intuitive concept. All right, so let's take like a meta example. Like imagine you're watching The Matrix and you paid a ticket to go watch it in the theater, but you don't like it. And you realize pretty early on, this is like not the movie for me, I'm not into sci-fi, but you've already paid the ticket and you feel like you have to get your money's worth. So even though you're not enjoying yourself and you want to do something else, you feel like you need to finish the movie because you've already invested the time and money, like you've already paid $20 for the ticket, you've already invested 45 minutes to get your butt to the theater. But what the sunk cost fallacy says is that if you find yourself in a situation where you're considering continuing to invest in something even though you know that it's not going well, ask yourself if you would have made the same decision had you not already invested anything in it. And if the answer is no, just flat out no, then you're likely falling victim to the sunk cost fallacy. The key thing is to remember that sunk costs can't be recovered. So no matter how much time you're investing or money you're investing, you can't get it back. So it's important to focus on the future and make decisions that are in your best interest, even if that means cutting your losses up front and just moving on. So if you've seen The Matrix, or you've at least seen the scene about the red pill, blue pill, maybe this gives you a little bit of a different perspective about how Neo was making his choice in the moment. And if you're trying to find what the right answer is between two things, try and use these three common cognitive biases to evaluate your decision, and hopefully, again, that'll help you to make the right decision for you at the end of the day. So if you like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and until next time, take care.